Hey guys, welcome to our first episode of Radio IB, the one and only podcast made to help both you and us to survive IB program. This is Poria, and we're here with...
Oh, hello. I'm
Ben, Jonathan.
Hello.
And William.
Hello.
We also have Parsa to help us with the IT and all these cables, as the four of us are unable to comprehend what's happening with the technology behind. So, welcome guys, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm pretty all right.
I mean, we've been sitting here for some time now with trying to get the microphones going, so I'm glad we've at least got it, hopefully, going.
Finally something's actually happening. Woo us, right?
Woo.
Yeah, I mean, we're very professional. We know exactly how to do this.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we're learning. I mean, we'll get there eventually.
I am ashamed to my sound technician dad.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right, so here's how it works. We have different sections in this podcast. First of all, Ben is going to inform us about all the tests and assignments so that they don't surprise us when the teacher is putting a test in front of you and the only right answer you get is your name. So after that, Jonathan is going to give us tips on how to actually study and hopefully make it in one piece when we're graduating. And finally, we'll sneak step into William's territory and we'll attempt to answer a hypothetical question. The kind of questions that don't really have a wrong or right answer. So in other words, it's TOK, but way cooler.
Yeah, a bit of a question of the week type thing.
Yeah. And it will also update us about IB news or anything else that's happening in the IB world. Should we get started then?
Yep. So the test coming up this week, as we're recording, that is we have an econ test on Thursday. Next week, there's a possibility for there to be a math test, but as of yet, the test date is undetermined. And in 2 weeks, there'll be a chem test on the 7th of October, which is Thursday. Write that in your calendars because it will be pretty important, or I think so at least. Then another undecided date will be a English presentation with Peter, and it's either this week as a recording or next week, so the week that we might have a math test.
Yeah, that sounds
like a busy week.
Yeah, let's hope it's all right though.
All right, Jonathan, the stage is yours.
Okay, welcome to my part of the podcast where I will discuss school tips. Every week I will try to come with new advice on how to, as we've made a joke on several times by now, survive IB. This will involve topics such as note-taking, essay writing, oral presentations, and all the other usual suspects. The majority of what I will talk about will come from research and studies, while some amount will simply be our personal opinions and advice. And who knows, we might even be able to bring in some ex-IB students here. We'll force them to recall their years in IB, and hopefully they can share some knowledge with us about their favourite subjects. Now and again, we might throw in a personal story or two involving studies, but sadly we will have to avoid gossiping about teachers for obvious reasons.
They're always listening.
I have a rough plan of what I will talk about for the next 30 weeks or so, give or take, but after that we will have to start getting a bit more creative. But I sure hope that what I have to say will help you in your studies, or more specifically, help you to be more efficient in your studies, allowing you to spend less time on it, because that's what's actually important.
No one actually wants to study.
Well, most of us.
Yeah, I can actually disagree with that.
I mean, yeah, I enjoy studying, but if we can study less, that's better for everyone.
Better for everyone.
If by less you mean study smart, yes, I'm with you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, well, we all want to study smart.
Yeah?
You done? All right.
I think so.
All right.
Unless there's anything you guys want to add more. I mean, because I'm going to be taking a lot of our personal opinion advice. So we're going to try to make as much of it as research and study as possible, but some of it will just be us, you know.
Yeah, sounds pretty good.
Sounds wonderful.
Yeah, sounds pretty good because I honestly felt the need to actually hear other people how they study, because people study differently, right? And they have different techniques. By actually listening to others people's technique, I can learn and possibly use it someday to accelerate my learning somehow.
I think we'll also be having other guests on the channel as well, right? Or the podcast to talk about these tests or study techniques, or just to ponder about the hypothetical questions.
Oh yes, I'm sure they'll enjoy that. Well, what a great segue, huh?
Is a segue required? It's me we're talking about. Anyways, for my part of the podcast, I am usually going to bringing you all some news about the IB program as a whole. Perhaps things going on with teachers or...
Hey, I said no teacher gossip.
Well, not specifically gossip, just gossip. Anyways, I was usually hoping to do those kind of things, but there's not a lot to report on at the moment because we're just starting out. The only thing I can really think of is the fact that there will be no history teacher during this week, though the podcast won't really be getting out until that is preferably over, but that depends on how the teacher union manages to find anyone, if they do.
I've heard a lot of people trying to leave the history class because it's all chaos. So,
I mean, that makes sense. I would too, but I can't.
Yeah.
As far as I heard, you're having a substitute for your substitute. Is that right? Or how does it work in history?
I mean, yes, we are basically having a substitute for our substitute because our substitute had to leave because he's writing his thesis for university. Quite an important thing, so I guess I can kind of understand it. But, you know, I want to write my thesis at some point as well. And if it's going to keep going like this, I guess that's never really happening, but that's all right.
At least not in history.
Yeah.
Not in history.
Nice.
I mean, I guess it's both good and bad depending on what student you are. If you don't really like actually like trying to do work in class, or if you like usually like spend your time doing other things in class, then it might be like really cool that you get to skip a lot of history.
But this is IB. It's not very cool to get to skip a lot of history.
Well, yeah, true. At a certain point, it's very worrisome. But I mean, I guess it's good for now. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have history.
For a tip for all of you out there who have history, if any of you are listening, I recommend doing study by yourselves. Me and Jonathan are actually doing some on our when we're supposed to have history classes. So if you want to join us, that's you're all welcome.
Where can they find you?
That depends, but message us on whatever social media you have us on. Otherwise, you can add us.
Just go on WhatsApp.
Otherwise there is the big class chat for WhatsApp. Wonderful, right?
Make sure you join that. There can be some pretty important information there.
All right, is everyone ready to start the exciting part of the podcast? I'm looking forward to this. William, let's do this.
All right, so this is the other and last part, and probably the part that people will think is the most fitting for me. And this is me asking questions to the rest of the podcast group. Today's question will be: when is it warranted to lie? And is it all right to omit things from conversation? If you think it makes conversation better, or if it saves face, whatever reason you might have, but when do you think it's okay?
I don't want to start. This is a very hard question. This is challenging.
Asking about when it's okay to lie, I think there is some merit to it when it's for the good of others. If it's for the good of yourself, only everyone can agree that that's not okay. The question where it becomes debatable is when it's for the good of others.
Right. Maybe you need like a hypothetical situation to make it easier to sort of place it into context.
Just don't make it too convoluted.
No, but like perhaps you're out partying last night. I don't know what you do.
Not us, sadly.
Probably not.
Not in this room.
Well, maybe not, but at least maybe I can put it in the context of lying to your parents for, whatever teenager reason you have.
We've got so much experience.
Well, like, is it okay? Or is it, an answer could just be, it's never okay to lie, of course, if you think that. But then we want some backing for that argument.
I mean, in my opinion, the act of lying is bad. Of course, I think the truth. If you respect someone, then they deserve to hear the truth. But I think it's okay to lie when someone or someone else or you are in danger. In order to protect yourself or them from immediate harm or danger, I think it's okay to lie.
A good example of this would be like espionage. Because you do not want to tell the truth.
It is good to lie when you're doing espionage. I mean, that makes sense. Is it good to do espionage, though? I mean, a lot of people will probably say that, spying is not a nice thing.
Not a valid.
But it's a clear example of lying on a daily basis.
Yeah, you also want to stay
Your
alive.
work is to lie.
It's to lie, yeah.
Yeah.
You get paid for it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh shit! Maybe I should become a spy.
I mean, you've got the history. You could probably figure out, the saying history repeats itself. You could probably just try to figure out what might repeat, and then
Study
just
the
figure that out.
history of spies. You should be fine.
I think we're getting a bit off topic here.
No, we're right
No,
on top.
no,
It's
we're-
fine.
I mean, spies lie, right?
Didn't I say something about not getting it too convoluted? Maybe that's just me.
All right, sure. What do you think?
All right. When do you think it's okay to lie?
I don't think it's okay to lie, but I think one example, what I was thinking about, what is, you're a parent and what you say to your little kids, you're not going to tell them everything. If something bad happens, you might want to take it in bits, or, there's certain rhetorical ways of breaking a truth in better ways. For example, that can be a certain way of lying, or there's white lies and so on. I mean, I think it's not okay to lie, but in certain situations, you sort of break down the truth, perhaps.
But what kind of counts as a white lie in that case?
I don't have a dictionary on me.
Like a lie that's clearly wrong, maybe.
Or a strategic half truth.
A strategic half-truth.
Yeah.
Back to espionage.
I mean, if a politician would come and do a strategic half-truth, would that be considered a white lie then? Or?
That's why they're called politicians. That's
Because that's what they work with.
yes. I mean, that's what they do.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah.
They're also spies.
Those are spies in a sense, yeah.
Well,
To some extent, yes.
Yeah. I think Jonathan was right. This is getting pretty convoluted.
I mean, the way I would put it is just, you shouldn't lie if it's only about gaining for you. But there are certain situations maybe where lying is appropriate. Or I mean, even then, just not straight up lying, but as I said, breaking down the truth or white lies or something of that sort. That's when I would consider it acceptable to a certain extent. Any objections?
I mean, I can follow that sort of reasoning. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with any answer.
You're a philosopher.
You just observe and hear stuff. That's
I mean, I can give my own sort of proposition if you want as well.
I wanna hear it.
All right, so, well, this isn't really my own thought, but this is an old sort of, it's called a maxim, which is a short sentence, I guess, which proves some sort of truth. Mm-hmm. And it's that one should not do what one can't see universalized. So, and according to that, you should never lie if you follow that sort of maxim. Because if everyone was constantly lying, then you would be breaking the then, it's absurd, right? Because it doesn't make sense. If everyone was always going around lying, I mean, society could work, but then everyone would know that everyone was lying, which makes lies redundant.
Which makes society not function.
Yeah, and also that would make life much easier because you're sure that the other guy's lying.
Exactly. You would be sure that everyone was lying. Which makes lies not lies.
Yeah, so
it kind of becomes a self-contradiction in that sense.
But how do you tell what's the truth then? Wouldn't that also give you trust problems, or you would never be able to know what people are actually thinking?
I mean, everyone would have trust problems. That's the thing. So therefore, if you follow that kind of maxim, then you can't lie. In not a single situation. There's a famous example where they say that even if a murderer is coming towards you with an axe and is asking where your children are, you have to tell them they're in the basement because, you cannot lie.
Right. Yeah, sure. All right. I feel like we got somewhere.
I feel like that too, definitely.
Yeah. All right,
Thank
guys.
you, William, for our philosophical question of the week.
No problem.
Enjoy you got many more of them up your sleeve.
Maybe.
All right, guys. Thank you, guys, for helping us with everything, with the content. Also, Parsa with the IT stuff. And also, thank you for listening. And stay tuned. Subscribe to our channel until our Spotify channel gets verified. We'll publish both on YouTube and on Spotify. So better subscribe to our channel to stay updated about our content.
Also, do you guys want us to have a Patreon? No, I'm joking. We don't want money. We don't want money.
All right. Social media.
Right, we are actually going to get an Instagram. So if you want to follow us there, you should, because we'll post pictures of what we do, I guess. I don't know what Parsa is gonna do with that, but you know, he said he wanted to take care of it, so it's probably gonna be a good account.
Yeah, so some more information will be coming soon.
Yes, and thank you all. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.